Hey, how's everyone doing? It's your boy Jeff. My friend Zach is going to be reacting to the same match as I will, so you're getting two different perspectives here. My co-host slash friend Zach, that being, and today we're going to be reviewing Shawn Michaels versus British Bulldog for the WWF European Championship from one night only, 1997. Like Zach alluded to, it was literally one night only. It's the only pay-per-view of its kind under the WWF umbrella, so let's go ahead and get into it, shall we? So, let's see if my mouse wants to work today. Shawn is backstage, and he's basically talking about how he's going to be the first Grand Slam champion in the WWF, holding the Intercontinental Championship, Tag Team Championships, the WWF title, and the European Championship. And he also is saying, like, how he's going to win the match, whatever, you know, your typical pay-per-view heel babyface stuff. So Shawn comes out first, and a kid shoves like an action figure of the British Bulldog in his face, and Shawn grabs the action figure and just throws it on the ground, and the fans are like eating him up and stuff, and like someone goes to throw like a paper ball at him, and Shawn just kind of dodges it. It's hilarious, man. The interactions with Shawn Michaels in the crowd was super hilarious. Bulldog then comes out with his sister, who JR and them were saying on commentary that, you know, was like battling cancer and stuff, and he wanted her to like see this match. And, you know, they have like his wife and some other people at ringside, so got the family involved now. Before the match starts, Shawn is like eating up the crowd some more, going outside, and like the fans would like not let go of Shawn Michaels. Like that's the kind of star power you have. You know you're a star when the crowd is like, no, don't leave us, don't leave. Like, that's how you know you're a star. Anyway, now we can get to the match. So let's see right here. Shawn steps out of the ring again, and then enters in to get back into the face of Bulldog. Bulldog kind of brushes him aside. The bell had already rung at that point, but Vince McMahon, I guess, didn't hear the bell because he's like, well, the bell didn't ring yet. It did. It did, Vince. Shawn locks up with Bulldog. Bulldog is basically asserting his power and his dominance early. Shawn gets flustered. He tries to get the upper hand multiple times. Bulldog just counters and overwhelms him. Shawn then walks up the ramp to try to catch a breather. He then hops on the apron. He pokes the eye of the British Bulldog to kind of get back into things, I guess. And Bulldog slams Shawn's head into the turnbuckle multiple times and then forces him into the ring, like just throwing him over the ropes back inside of the ring. Bulldog then is walking. He's holding Shawn up in military press form, just walking around the ring with him, which is very impressive. I know Shawn's like 215 to 225 pounds at that time, but maybe even a little bit more than that. But that's very impressive. I mean, I know Bulldog's jacked, but it's pretty damn impressive to walk around with him for that long. He then ultimately just throws him behind him in the ring. You know, he teased throwing him outside multiple times in this match or whatever. Then Bulldog goes for the abdominal stretch shortly thereafter. Shawn ends up countering with a hip toss, but then he gets tossed out of the ring shortly thereafter by the British Bulldog. Bulldog then yanks the ropes when Shawn Michaels tries to get back onto the apron and forces him back into the ring. Bulldog then hits multiple arm drags. You see like a wear down submission hold for a bit. And then Shawn hits multiple forearms and an eye poke. Going back to the well again, huh? Bulldog then hits a sit-out powerbomb, gets a 2 count. Michaels then goes for a crucifix pin, and Bulldog counters that into some sort of power slam. Like, it looks like a Samoan drop, but obviously it isn't. I don't know if they just call that a crucifix bomb. I don't know what they would call that in wrestling. Bulldog then goes for some sort of, like, stretch submission. The ref tries to count his shoulders, forcing Bulldog to break the hold. He's getting into it with the ref for a little bit. Shawn tries to counter back, but Bulldog ends up hitting a vertical suplex, getting a 2 count there. You're not going to put Shawn Michaels away with a vertical suplex now, are you? Come on. Rick Rude is then walking down ringside. who is now aligned with DX. It's that period of time where Rick Rude was randomly in DX, by the way. And he gets involved. Shawn is able to get the upper hand thanks to Rick Rude. And Rude tosses Bulldog into the ring post on the outside while Shawn is dealing with the ref. And then Shawn ends up diving onto the Bulldog outside. Does like a little double axe handle to the back. Rick Rude then slams Bulldog back first into the apron, which, by the way, if you haven't heard, in WWE is the hardest part of the ring. You know, just saying. Let's see here. And then Shawn hits a back elbow in the corner. And then Shawn locks in a sleeper hold. Has it on for a little bit. Bulldog just refusing to die. He refuses to pass out. Bulldog then gets to his feet and hits a back suplex and gets a 2 count. Shawn locks in an arm bar. And Bulldog powers, out of it and powers up with Shawn like this and just slams him. Just drops his weight back. Both guys end up colliding off of the ropes when they try to run the ropes. And both guys are on the ground for a little bit. And Hunter and Chyna walk out. The rest of the members of DX. And Bulldog ends up hitting a back body drop on the Shawn Michaels shortly thereafter. Bulldogs then tosses Michaels and hits a clothesline and a slingshot in the corner. Ends up getting another 2 count. Shawn dodges Bulldog when he tries to go for like a spear in the turnbuckle. And, you've seen that spot a lot of times. Shawn just dodges. Bulldog goes into the ring post. Shawn then hits a body slam and 2 diving elbow drops. He's going for sweet chin music, but he gets a little impatient because Bulldog isn't making it to his feet, so he tries to force him up. Bulldog then goes for a slam in the corner, but Rick Rude is holding the ankle. The Rude had the ref distracted in the meanwhile, shortly thereafter, and Bulldog goes to the outside. He's beating up Hunter. He's trying to beat up Shawn Michaels. He goes for a power slam on the Shawn Michaels, but they're selling it as if his leg had gave out. Apparently, it got caught in the guardrail. I don't know if that was a botch or if that was actually planned, but good job either way, I guess. The ref then goes to restore order. Shawn Michaels hits a sweet chin music on the outside. Shawn then distracts the ref, and DX goes out there. Hunter, Chyna, Rick Rude go out there to beat up the British Bulldog some more, to attack the leg, and they end up throwing him back into the ring. And then Shawn removes British Bulldog's knee brace and tosses it at his wife, who is sitting at ringside again with the sister and a couple other people. Shawn locks in the figure 4, and Hunter and Chyna are kind of holding his arms repeatedly to kind of help with leverage, while the ref is just keying in on the Bulldog to see if he's going to submit. Rude ends up, or Bulldog is fighting his way to the ropes, and as soon as he's about to grab the rope, Rick Rude decks him. And it forces Shawn to drag the hold back into the middle of the ring. And the ref calls for a stoppage. And it basically means that Shawn Michaels is your new European champion. Shawn grabs a microphone and brags about being a Triple Crown winner. Or a Grand Slam champion, I should say, excuse me. He brags about being a Grand Slam champion and beating, like, your hero and this and that. And he, is talking shit to his wife or whatever. And the crowd is just throwing water bottles and everything they can at Shawn at this point. Bulldog's wife comes into the ring with the knee brace that Shawn had threw to her at ringside and is trying to choke out Shawn Michaels with the knee brace, while Hunter has a microphone screaming in Bulldog's face the whole time with Shawn with the figure 4 on, saying like, yeah, like scream and cry and like all this stuff. And Chyna gets a hold of her. Doesn't beat her up or anything, but he's just holding her back from doing anything. Owen Hart rushes down to the ring. DX bails, and they end up celebrating up the ramp. The action was good in the ring. Like, it was good. Shawn's a good seller when he's not on that Hulk Hogan 2005 stuff. And, the DX involvement, I mean, it plays into Shawn Michaels and his character and stuff, being cocky, being resilient, going to all sorts of lengths to do what he needs to do. But I'm going to give this a 3 out of 5. This could have been better, in my opinion. Could have been at least a 4 out of 5. But The finish, man. Not a fan of the finish. Not a fan of the ref stoppage. In the previous match we watched, it was a no-holds-barred match, and it ended in a screwy way. And now we get another screwy, kind of not-so-good feeling of a finish with a ref stoppage. I think what would have been more effective is Bulldog powering out one last time, fighting off everyone, trying to fight off Shawn Michaels, but it just becomes too much, and Shawn has to hit like 1 or 2 super kicks to win the match. Like, that to me would have been more effective of a finish, and that would have probably bumped it up to 4 stars. But it gets 3 out of 5. It was an underwhelming finish for me, but I did like the action that was going on in the match. You know, definitely did a great job showcasing Bulldog and his strength, and it did a good job of showing like the craftiness of Shawn Michaels and, you know, what he can do to stay into the fight and whatnot. So hopefully you guys enjoy the match if you do choose to check it out, and let's hear what Zach has to say.